What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Board Games Are For Everybody, where today we're going to be doing scenario number 2 for That Time You Killed Me. Once again, playing on our own. We're going to go through scenario 2. So seeing as we pretty much went over how to actually play the game before, we can just hop right into this scenario this time instead of having to go over the basic rules. We'll just have to go over the rules for this particular scenario. First and foremost being, well, we'll set everything up after we go through the story, I suppose. So we have chapter number 2, Influence. Great job, one of you. The other is a scoundrel, a cad, a real zoot muncher. Harsh words, sure, but if you'd seen what I've seen, you'd agree. Well, I suppose you've seen it, just not yet. And if this works, never. You'll simultaneously have seen it, will see it, and if all goes well, will never have seen it. Did I mention time travel can be confusing? But it's still the most amazing invention in all of history. Believe me, we checked. Everyone agreed. Nikola Tesla, Maria Beasley, Evan Archimedes' aunt, not Archimedes, but his aunt. Even Archimedes' aunt, not Evan. Evan Archimedes? Who's Evan Archimedes? Is there an Evan Archimedes? If you're Evan Archimedes, let me know. Even Archimedes' weird to say, aunt, who stole all his ideas from. People will do anything to be remembered. We build statues, name stuff after ourselves, get our faces lasered onto the moon. It's a powerful motivator, but it can drive people to do dark things. One of you was the most famous person in history, then the other was, but nothing lasts forever, my friend, or enemy. You see, whichever of you is the murderer was then murdered by another murderer, then the murderer who murdered the murderer was in turn murdered by a murderer, and that murderer murdered by a murderer murdering murderer. It was murderers all the way down. Until time broke. So people kept murdering until all of time broke, I suppose, is how that works. And we've got our rules for chapter 2 here. Set up, place yellow statue on the 7 space in every era. So we're going to do that first and foremost. We've got our yellow statues here. They're going to start in the 7 space. And we're going to have these facing towards us here. So basically the way this works is that you can push and pull these statues, and how you push and pull them will affect, knocking pieces over already, will affect how they move in future eras. Now, these yellow ones are always on the board. So say we had a player here in the 6 space, and we decided to move into this space here. It would push the stone into the 8 space, which in turn would push the stone into the 8 space in every other era. Now, let's say everything was still on the 7 here, and instead of pushing the stone, we decided we wanted to pull the stone. We could also do that. If we move into the 5, we can choose to move the 6 in, or the stone into the 6 space, which in turn would affect all of the other stones in the other eras. But say we're in the present, or even in the future, same thing would apply, and we decide to move a stone in this era. We wouldn't be affecting the past because we're currently in the present. So the only stone that would be affected would be the stone in the future. And likewise, if we chose to move a stone in the future, it wouldn't affect either the present or the past stones. On a turn, we can use an action in order to place one of our stones down in an adjacent space. So say white was starting and they wanted to put their stones here, it would be placed in every single era. However, if, say, we were in the present and we decide to place it down, we would only get another stone in the future, and the third stone would effectively be discarded from the game. And once stones are on the board, they act the same as the yellow stones do. All of them can be pushed or pulled by either player and can be used to affect the future. Should a stone be pushed into a player, pushing them into a wall, it would cause them to be murdered, as normal pushing into a wall would. If you push, I believe if you push a player into a stone, the stone moves. Trying to see here. It's probably something that's in the direct rules, because stones move. So I think the only way you can actually crush someone against a stone is if it's already against a wall. But say we did want to put a stone into place. Well, actually it wouldn't work here, but let's say they were here in the present. And white's turn, they were going to place a statue down on the 10 space. That statue, unlike how the trees and the bushes work, that statue would still spawn in the present. It would just push the character one space in the direction that it was spawned in. That's pretty much all the rules that we have to go over. So I think we're just going to hop right into this and get started. White obviously starts like normal. We're going to be playing the black side, which I think is what we did last time. I mean, obviously we're playing both sides, but I am going to play the black side and also play the white side, but I am the black side. This is very confusing, much like the game narrative, time travel. See, that's actually kind of funny the way that happened, is that the way the game works, someone's trying to murder the other person in order to claim time travel. So it's like going after yourself, and I'm playing against myself. Anyway, we're just going to start. We are going to start by just hopping up into the 6 space here. We're just going to use both our actions to move into the 6, and then we're going to hop to the present. The future player, I think what we're going to do is we're going to start by moving over, and then we're going to hop back. We're going to get another player onto the board here sooner rather than later, and then we're going to hop into the present as well. Now, white has an option here. White can hop back now and cause another player to be spawned, which could be beneficial. They could also try and do some movement to try and set some stuff up. We don't want to go to the 3 because the black can come and crush the white pawn with the stone. So we have to be careful about that. But I think what we will do is we'll hop to the 2, and then we will come back to the past and get another player in line here. And then we're going to come back to the past, and we're going to go there on our next turn. So we are now in the present with the black player. We need to figure out what we want to do here. I could push the stone down, but it's not really going to do much for us. The white player is still in the way, so it's not really going to help us all that much. So I think what I'm going to choose to do... Oh, I was going to go... Actually... No, that wouldn't be helpful at all. I was going to choose to go back in time and possibly set our statue up, but it won't do anything because we're going to end up getting killed by the white player because they're currently in the past. I could hop back and put a stone down on the 11. That's an option, but I'd rather have a stone. Well, I guess I can put a stone... No, I wouldn't be able to put a stone on the 10. I'm on the 15 currently. you know what? Yeah, let's hop back. So we're going to go to the 15. We're going to get another player in here. And we're just going to get our stone out. We're going to get our stone out right now. So let's put our stone down here. So our stones are now on the board for the black player. And we... Oh, no, we're not going to do that. That's a terrible idea because white can now move here and then crush us coming up. So we're going to hold off on what would have been a very terrible idea. I'm glad I saw that before I moved my piece. In the rule book, it does say your turn doesn't end until you place this piece down. So we're not cheating. We're not cheating. I just happened to notice the mistake before it happened. So, what do we want to do here? See, I want to try and set up so that we can try and take them out in the past here, but if I go back to the past, I'm going to get myself killed, so that would be a bad idea. Well, you know what? I can at least come back and move down. This won't get me killed. This won't get me killed. And then we're going to set up our next turn in the past here. So going back to white, couple options here. They could hop to the present. That's an option. They could move the stone and push us. Another option. We could go up 2 and then... Oh, but then we wouldn't be able to... Actually, that may actually be viable. If we go up 1 and then come into the present, good setup to take out both those black pawns on the next turn. I now need to... Oh, you know, I didn't even... I'm going to take that back only because I'm playing as black and I'm going to try and make things fair, is that would have given me an opportunity to take that piece out and I didn't even realize it. Got to be careful about doing stuff like that. I don't want to make it seem like I'm cheating. I don't want to make it seem like I'm cheating in my favor just so that I can win. I'm going to win regardless, obviously. So let's go over and then let's push this stone up. But then they're just going to push down twice and murder me. So that's also not a good idea. Tricky situation already. Something I do like about scenario 2 is that these stones definitely... There's a lot more moving pieces on the board, so there's a lot more you need to consider when you are making choices. We are going to go to the 3 and hop into the present, I think is what we're going to do. I think that's a decent... I don't think anything can be taken, at least not easily. Unless I'm... Oh no, I lied. I lied. The one that I just moved can still be taken because I'm by the stone. I'm really not paying attention here. Really got to pay attention more. What we could do is we could hop here into the present and then move up. That's an option, right? That's an option. The stone can't be used to kill. Black can hop into the present, but it wouldn't give them the opportunity to take the white piece. I think that's a good move. I think that's a good move. So... we now need to stop the white piece from taking our... Oh no, that's the first move I did, isn't it? That's the first move I did. I can take that piece. So all I have to do is put a statue down and then push it. I'm just... it's literally the first thing that I said that I was going to try and do. I'm trying not to make it seem like, I guess there really is no favor. This is going to happen. It happened a lot in the first scenario too, as I just didn't notice stuff, which is going to happen. So let's, I guess, come here. I don't I don't want to make it seem like I'm making things. Actually, you know what? You know what a good idea might be? Is if we move up. Oh, but I can't put pieces down on things that are here. I can't place a statue on here. It's only if it gets placed in a future era that it pushes things. Okay, we are going to I really want to put a stone on that 11 space, but I can't do that currently. We are going to hop into the future. Not the future. Well, into the future. We're going to hop into the present. And then we're going to push this stone over, which won't affect the one in the past, but it will affect the one in the future. So we now have stones being put out of place, something we just have to keep track of, that's all. It'll happen. And then we're going to hop into the present. I think that's the best move we got right now. That isn't going to... A lot of moves would have gotten a piece taken, so it's just what we got to go for. So, now, what do we do here? We could move down. We don't have to worry about getting crushed by the stone because it can't move over. And then next turn we could maybe try and set some stuff up to push it, but that wouldn't matter too much. I gotta remember that we can pull stones too. Definitely another option. If we hop into the present, well, actually, we're in a bit of a predicament because one of our pieces is going to get taken if we don't stop it from getting taken. And unfortunately, I can't stop it from getting taken with this stone here because I can't place my own stone down to push the white 7 in the present. But I could try and set some stuff up for next turn maybe, because they're going to come up and they're definitely going to take out my character. So I think what we are going to do, hopping into the past isn't going to do anything, or into the present isn't going to do much for me. Unless, of course, I choose to hop in the present in order to prevent them from taking my piece. Or if they take my piece, it'll just be an exchange. Like if I go to 12 and then hop to the 12, if they want to take my piece, they're either going to move to the 11 and then to here, or they're going to move to the 11 and then to here, and then I can just take their piece on the next turn. So, question is, do I think a trade-off is worth it? And I would probably have to say, yes, a trade-off is worth it, only because, and I didn't realize, and I've been spending too much time doing it, so I'm just going to let it go. that white has the opportunity to put a stone down right here, which in turn will put a stone into the future. Now, our third stone is discarded from the game, seeing as we were only able to place 2 down. And then they can use their second move in order to move up, which is going to crush this black piece. And it is also going to move this stone up, which in turn is going to crush that black piece. So white just took 2 pieces in that turn. Not looking good for us. Not looking good for us, that's for sure. And that is the turn. And it's actually prevented me from taking the white piece as well, because there's nothing I can do now in order to take it. It didn't do the double move, so I can't actually crush it against the wall. So I think best option is to come back into the past here. Not a whole lot we can do in the future, especially since there's no one there to try and take, out. So if we can try and get these other ones, like literally all we have to do is come here and move up, which is going to take out both of those pieces there. So I would think what black has to do is either push the white piece out of the way, or we need to come back in time. But if we come back in time, all we're going to do is just waste one of our pieces because it's going to create another one. So I think what we're going to do is we're actually going to move down in order to move the stone down. And then we'll hop back. Is that a good thing to do? Oh, sorry, this one doesn't move down. That one moves down. So hopping back wouldn't be a good option in that case, because they can just come up and crush the piece. So I guess moving this way would be the best thing to do. Maybe. Or in this case, I suppose I could move back up. I could move back up now, because I don't have a real threat of being taken, which is fine. Because they can push the stone up, but it's just going to put it back here. So I think that's okay. So we're going to hop back to the past for black. But now we need to figure out what white's best option is here. We could no, we don't have our stone anymore, so we can't do much about that. I think the best option, honestly, might actually be just to push the stone up, because it's going to prevent us from putting a black stone on the 11, which is good. This one would also move up, which is good. And then we're going to come into the present here, which is bad for us. This is actually very bad for us. I actually think we may have just lost. I can't move anywhere and warp. Huh. That's an unfortunate outcome. I suppose I could place a stone down and move the other stone up there, but that's not going to help us at all. The only thing I can really do would... I guess I could place a stone down on the 12, which would place a stone down here and push everything down, which would affect that one. At least this way they can only take one of our pieces instead of both of them. It would keep us in the game. So that would be one move. Pushing the stone would just kill me. That would be a bad idea. And then for my second turn, I could do a move. But I have to be careful about that too, because they can crush me, which wouldn't go well for me. But it's really the only option that we have. It's really the only option that we have to keep us safe. So we just have to move to the 15. And then we're going to come back into the presence. So they cannot take my piece on 16, which is good for us. But they can take the piece on 8, which is probably a good move to do. However, if they take it, it would result in a trade-off because I can push the stone to crush them against the other stone. So we need to figure out if it's worth doing the trade-off or not. We could also pull a black stone, which would just push both of these. And then next turn we could push this up and get them closer to each other, while simultaneously taking that piece out. I think that might actually be a good idea. So if I pull the black stone, well, I guess it wouldn't affect this one, but it would affect this one. And then I will come back in time here to create another player. And then we're going to come back to the past. Maybe I should start playing as white. I seem to be doing better as white every game. Okay, so what are we doing now? Couple options here. What are those options? A warp to the past is an option. I could put another piece in play. I guess this wasn't such a great move for white because it gave me an opportunity to actually get out of this situation. But at the same time, there isn't a whole lot that I can do without getting myself killed. I could come back here and create another piece. I can move the black stone up, but that won't do much for me, except get me killed, because they can just come up here. They are already going to come up with the yellow stone and murder me, which is bad. Even if I chose to push them from here, they can still push me back and push the stone up, which isn't going to make things easy for me. So my other option would be I could go to the future, which is a good choice, honestly. I am going to probably lose my player in the past because there's not a whole lot I can do about that. There's not a whole lot I can do about that, but I can try and set some stuff up for future turns. So if I hop to the future, at least it prevents this from coming up and crushing. Not that they would be able to do that anyway, but... So we have one movement. What's the best use of our second movement? Going back wouldn't be a good use right now, because it's just going to get a piece put out for no reason. Oh, maybe it would. Maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea. They can't take both pieces, so it may not be that bad of an idea. I think we are actually going to hop back. We're going to see how this works out. I don't know how well it's going to work out, but we're going to see. No point in coming back here because they're definitely going to take that piece. So I guess we're coming into the future and we're going to do some future moves next turn. So obviously the correct choice is to move up, which is going to take this piece out. It's also going to affect this, and it's going to affect this, which that I actually wasn't paying attention to because now I can't do much as far as jumping back goes unless I push the stone. But the 8's still here, so that's not going to help us either. And then what do we do for the second move? We can't hop anywhere. Can't place any stones down. The only thing we can really do is just move here. No point in pulling the statue because that's going to be pointless. And then we're going to hop into the present for our next turn. Now this is going to be a little devastating, provided I don't do something to remedy it, which I can't do much in the future because I won't be able to change where the stones are in the present. All I can really do is push a statue. But what's the best one to push? I'm not going to be able to teleport on either of them. However, if I stay here, I'm going to get crushed when he moves this one, so I've got to be really careful about that. So I have to move this. It's really my only option. And then we'll move over to the 7. And then we're going to come here. Now, question is, does it make more sense for me to take the 16 or to take the 12? The 16 can hop back into the past, whereas the 12 can't. So it might make more sense for white to take the 16. So we're going to go up 1, and then we're going to come over into the 15 space, which is going to move the statue and crush that piece. It's also going to move that statue there. And then we're going to hop back into the past. So I'm currently in the present here, eh? What do I do? This is not a good situation. Well, I guess I can take that white piece out. I guess that's something, right? So if we move this piece over, it'll affect that, and then we move up. We get 1 capture. 1 capture is good. 1 capture is better than no captures. And then I have no one in the past right now, so I can't do much there. But we might be able to set up some past stuff soon, hopefully. Because now we're actually in a situation where moving stones isn't even going to do anything for them. Hopping into the present isn't going to do much for them, because they'd still be out of range of getting me. However, if they hop and come up, they can take me on the next turn, which is unfortunate. So I think that's going to happen. And if they take that piece, I'm screwed. So I need to try and set something up here. Unfortunately, I think I've just put myself in a position where I'm going to get... I think I might... I've put myself in a... Well, not technically, actually. They're going to take that piece, no doubt. They're going to take that piece. I can't do anything about that. But I have to hop back, which is going to create a piece here. And then I have to hop back again, because I have to have characters in 2 eras. And then I'm not going to have anyone in the present, so I guess we're going to have to go to the past. And then obviously their turn, they're going to come up and crush. And then for their second action, I don't know. What are they going to do for their second action? Don't want to move to the 14, because we can take the piece if they choose to move to the 14. So I guess they would just come back to the 11 would be their best option. And then what do we want here? I guess we'll hop into the future. Not a whole lot to do in the past. So we're in the past. Not a whole lot we can do. We've only got 2 pieces left here. We need to make sure we stay in 2 different eras, which definitely makes things harder for us. I think all we can really do here maybe is we will hop here and pull the yellow statue into the 7, which will pull it this way. Yeah, we're still in 2 eras, so that's good. And then, do I do something in the future or do I do something in the present? I can take out this piece that's in the present, so I guess that's the better option. And now it kind of prevents white from hopping back too, because there's really no point doing it. At least not right now. So white's best move, really, I guess, would just be to come up here. And then come up here. We don't want to hop back. We don't want to cause too much chaos. And then we're going to hop into I guess into the past? Or do we hop into the present? We'll hop into the present. I think the present might be a better option here. So black's turn, obviously they're going to take out this white piece. And then what do we do as a second move? Can't hop into the future. I could hop into the past. Could be an option. But we wouldn't be able to do a whole lot there, really. And I would have to ensure that I don't get taken. So I think hopping over to the 1 space might actually be the better move. And then we're going to come into the future for our next turn. So white now needs to figure out what they're going to do. Black's going to use the black statue to murder that white piece. So I think white is going to pull the statue, which is going to help. And then what's our second move going to be? We can't really hop around at all. Can't move down to the 8. Actually, I can safely move to the 8. Because not only is the 7 here and they can't teleport to it, but both pieces would be in 1 era, which would end the game. So moving to the 8 is actually a pretty safe bet. And then we're going to go into the future. Okay. Well, that definitely put a damper on things. I was going to try and take that 9, but we can no longer do that. I can't hop back. Not that it would be a good idea anyway. There's really not a whole lot that I can do here. I have to try and not get crushed, so I can't go too close to the piece. Maybe just coming back down here to the 4 is our best option. Because then we can try and get into the past here. Oh, you know what? That actually may have been a really bad idea. Oh, jeez. Maybe coming down to the 2 would be fine. They can't get me there. And then we just have to hop into the present because that's all we can do. So honestly, I think white's best move is just to hop to get its pieces out. So we're going to hop. And then we're going to hop. And we're good to go. White now has all its pieces on the board. Definitely makes it a lot easier for it to maneuver around. 5 versus 2. Definitely going to have a hard time here, I think. No, we're going to go into the present. I thought it was in the present. I just put the black piece on the wrong side. Okay, so black's currently in the present. What is our best option here? I think pushing white up into the corner might be our best bet. We could also hop into the past, but that could be tricky for us. I could safely move here. They can't push the yellow stone down, and white coming down this way really wouldn't do much either. And then I got to go into the future. I got to be careful with that, though. Okay, that's fine. We're going to go with that. So now white. What is white going to do? Not a whole lot they can do, really. Can't take any pieces. Oh, geez, excuse me. They can't really take any pieces, which is good for us. I think that might be a good bet. Try and set up so that next turn we can take that black piece, although we have a couple turns to get back there. That actually might be a bad idea. Because black can get back there before white will. And they'll be able to crush the piece. So that might actually be not a good idea. Is that where it was? Jeez, I don't remember. Here. I think it was here. Yeah, it was there. So that might not be a good idea. We could try and set up maybe for the next couple turns so that we could push. It's a little awkward though. Yeah, it's the best move I can think of at the moment, I think. And then we'll head into the past here. So, black, I think we can't do anything to that piece up there, and they can just keep avoiding. So I think best option for us is to not come into the past. That would be a bad idea. Maybe coming into the present? No, because that'll end the game. I can't go to the past because, well, they're in the past because I'll get killed. Huh. I think I've put myself in a bit of a bad situation here. Let's push this statue over so we can go to the 3. And I have to make another move. I guess going back to the 2 is an option. Going to the 7 isn't really an option, unfortunately. I guess I should have to go back to the 2. There isn't a whole lot that I could really do. So we now can't hop over like we wanted to because it'll get us killed. Oh no, it won't. We're on 13, not 4. So if we go here and then hop into the future, it would set up for next turn. So the black piece pretty much has to move or it's going to get murdered. Oh, actually, you know what? I didn't even realize it, but the piece has moved already. I can move up which will push both of these. So this will go up, and I will crush this white piece by coming over this way. So that was a decent move. I didn't realize it was there, but we did it. So now, what is the best move for white? We can't get down to the piece. Going into the future isn't going to do much. So maybe just try and set up. We're just going to hop down to the 6 here. Actually, you know what? We're going to hop here, and then we'll push this statue over, and then we'll hop into the past. Best option, I guess it's not an option anymore, because going into the past with white prevents us from going to the past, because we'll get killed. Man, this is getting tricky. We're going to go 1, 2. We can't get killed just from getting pushed anymore, in this situation anyway. And then we're going to move to the present. So white, to prevent us from getting the white piece, would probably move over and then pull the yellow statue, which would pull us down here. And then this would also move down. And then we're going to move into the present, which, unless I move, is going to result in me getting killed. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to... I can't hop to the past because... Oh, well, actually, it doesn't affect the past. So I could go to the 3 and then hop back. And then next turn, we'll be able to crush that piece. Good for us. So what's white's best option here, then? Pushing the statue won't affect the one in the past. So that doesn't matter. We can't hop to the future because running into the black piece will just kill the white piece. And I can't go to the past because there's no space there. But what I could do is I could come here. That's not where I want to be. I want to be on the 6. I can't get to the 6. Huh. That makes things a little harder, doesn't it? That makes things a little harder. We're going to pull the black statue down for one move. And then we're going to hop into... No, it'll be on the 7, into the future. Okay, so black is going to... Oh, actually, no, I moved it already. I was going to say, if we moved to the past, it would prevent them from crushing it. But I moved it. Got to play by the rules. So if I push for 1 and then do a second push, it'll take this piece out. But I think I spelled my own doom there anyway. Oh, you know what? I did anyway by doing that in the future here. I'm not going to be able to do anything. This affects these. Got to do that. Well, I guess I got to put it here. I have no one in the present, but white can now push us, which is going to push this statue over, and then they can do a second push, which is going to take out the final pawn for the black side. So the black pawn only remains in the past. That's twice now. Black has lost, unfortunately. But yeah, that is scenario 2 for That Time You Killed Me. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Definitely a lot more moving pieces in this scenario. This is the farthest we've been in the game so far. We haven't done the other scenarios yet. There's 2 more that we have to get through still. So once we do those, I will definitely record them as well. But yeah, that's it for scenario 2 of That Time You Killed Me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you are on Instagram, you can follow us at Board Games Are For Everybody over on Instagram. We just post photos of games that we're playing as well as games that we pick up. If you're over on Board Game Arena, you can send me a friend invite at Games Are For Everybody over on Board Game Arena. Maybe we can play a game sometime. But that's it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully I will see you all next time. Until then, just remember the board games are for everybody. Until then, peace.